Hello and welcome to Amplify Exposed, the podcast from Amplify magazine where we talk about everything to do with photography and music. With me is my panel of experts. We have the wonderful Jill from Sydney, Cam from Melbourne, Glenn also from Sydney, and Lisa from the North Sydney. How far up are you? Lismore, isn't it?
Yeah, Lismore. Nowhere near Sydney.
Remember all the competitions when I was a kid.
Yeah. We also have the wonderful Dave Bruce, who's our Amplify CEO, founder of Amplify, who's joining us this episode to tell us a little bit about the history of the website and some of what to expect in coming weeks. Yep. So what I'm going to do is just run around everybody. Just tell me a little bit about yourself. What have you been up to this week and who are you shooting at the moment?
Cam's in a gym top.
So it's just going to have a gun show. I'm going to bring the guns out later.
Tell us about yourself. Where in Melbourne are you? And what have you been up to this week?
Myself, I'm in the southeastern suburbs of Melbourne. This week, not a lot. Shoots have been, the last couple of shoots I've had haven't been happening or haven't got a pass through. So hopefully I'm shooting Friday night for May Day Parade.
You got plenty coming up.
There's plenty coming up. It's just been that quiet, the lull before the storm, I think it is.
Absolutely, because Evanescence have just announced a bunch of sideshows from the Metallica gigs. So I'm certainly putting my hand up for one of those. Dave, take the hint.
And
I've already got an application in, Pete.
Yeah,
just talk
well, you're in Melbourne, I'm in Perth. That's fine.
I think have I put you down? I think I'll put you down, Cam. To talk about Metallica, I was talking to Psycho Mike, who's playing with Metallica. Psycho Mike from Suicidal Tendencies this week, who are playing with Metallica and Evanescence, and he was saying that they were going to play with Limp Bizkit, and he was dropping up Pantera. He dropped all these names they're all mates with, and I've got my chin on the ground, sort of saying, cool. So just a reference to Metallica.
Okay. You'll get this as we go through. The Dave will interject and ramble away, and so he's cool. Right. Glenn, tell us about yourself.
I'm from Western Sydney. Lately, I shot a band on Saturday night called Vox Neon. They do like a synth pop sort of stuff, which were pretty good. There was a lot of people. That was good. Yeah. And I'm doing a wedding on the 20th of September, and the wedding venue burnt down on the weekend.
Oh, no.
Oh.
The people who told me their wedding's on, they've had to try and get money, or because they're not getting money back because of the insurance apparently for the venue. So they've got to try and get another venue. So, yeah.
Oh, that's awful.
No, that's no good.
No.
Yeah, nasty.
But that's what all I've been doing.
They're not going to get married, so they're going to not get married or divorced.
They're still going to get married. They're going to do it somehow. So.
Maybe you do some sort of post-apocalyptic wedding shoot in the ruins and make some commentary on society.
Actually, now you say that, the place they selected has got ruins in it.
Right.
And so they go, I think you're doing there. They showed me photos, and I've actually been there about 10 years ago. I went there and photographed the wedding. So maybe that's it. You're right.
The funny more place had burnt down. We can only dream. So,
yeah.
Jill, how's it going there in Sydney?
Hi, so I'm Jill. I'm in the inner west of Sydney. Things been a little quiet of late, but I did shoot my regular monthly first Monday of the month gig at the Starfish Club, which is at the very gorgeous looking Clavelli Bowling Club. It's got the best views in town, I reckon. So with some jazz musicians that I photograph for regularly. So
views, yeah.
Yes.
Good lighting and good setup.
No, but let's edit that out.
Can't have everything.
Yes, yeah. But it's got great views. So and they went and bought me a blue velvet curtain. So
nice.
So, yeah.
Sounds
so
nice.
now I really feel committed that I have to keep turning up. So
and Lisa, what you been up to?
Well, it was a bit quiet on Friday night. Friday night, what was I doing? Polish club at Banglo Bolo with Stay Lucky.
Good gallery.
And then, sorry?
Good gallery. I've seen it. It's very good.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And then Sunday it was Anna and the Morphics, Gusset Rats, Apollo, and the Lobotomy Girls on Sunday.
Gusset Rapid God, I've seen them before. I don't mind them.
And I'm Pete. I'm based in.
Sorry.
I'm Pete. I'm based in Perth, and last weekend I was shooting the Storm Rider Festival, an annual heavy metal festival here in Perth. 8 bands over 11 hours, and I was shattered at the end of it, as you can imagine. But ploughing through all the photos now, getting those up very soon. But that's coming up in a bit. Okay.
I didn't know.
So just to give you a quick rundown of where we're going to go this week, we're going to have Jill is our news hound. She's going to be giving us a little bit of information about what's happening out and about, what new releases are coming out, and anything to do with photography and music. Cam will be interviewing Lisa a little bit later on. We got a clip of that for a longer form interview, which will go up on our channel a little bit later. Glenn's going to take us through some shots of the week and give us a few editing tips, give you a little bit of idea of tips and tricks of how to use Lightroom and Photoshop. And Lisa has something pretty special for us. Lisa's our one here to stir the pot, be a little bit controversial and start the discussion going. But to start everything off, I'm actually going to hand over to Dave.
What did you do this week, Dave? Oh, me. Someone asked me what I did this week. Sorry.
He's not listening, is he? He never listens. I said, Dave, I'm about to hand over to you.
Oh, to tell me what I'm... Okay. Yeah, but you didn't ask me what I was doing. I was going to... Anyhow, it doesn't really matter. I've just done lots of work.
So Dave, right, introduce yourself. Tell us a bit about yourself. And can you give us a quick rundown on Amplify, a little bit of the history of the site, where it's come from, and what we're up to at the moment, where we're going?
Yeah, I'm generally a little shy, but I'll try and put something together for it. I'm Dave. I get heaps of emails as normal. I organise all the stuff and everything, and all these magnificent people shoot magnificent photos because I get to request them and get come up with all that. Amplify started back on Australia Day, 26th of January in 2012. So we actually started the year before on social media, but we started back in 2012, and I started with a couple of partners that left in the first a few months. So I had to sort of, cotton it together. And we've basically been predominantly... We're probably a bit of a publicity machine for artists and for industry all around the world. We started as the Australian Musician Network here, and then in 2015, when we created a new website, we changed to Amplify, and at the end, it's said Amplify. The end's a silent N, and we've had probably we've had a stack of photographers here over the 10 years. Everyone's been through sort of thing, and we've taken a lot of photography over the 10 years, and we're pretty well known for our photography. We hit a hump with COVID, obviously, because we're covering about 100 shows. We're covering about 100 live shows a month. And when COVID hit, that went down to 0. So we had to, work our way through overseas. We've got a pretty good following over in the States. And, we've been building different outcomes ever since. Pete and I have been working on some scalable items that we're probably going to launch in the next month or two. And I'd like to think that we're a platform for the people because we're more relational than transactional. So we don't sort of put a dollar on something. We do a lot of free publicity, etc., and we'll probably continue to do more of that as we move forward because we really love promoting our music and artists, etc. And we're told we're one of the few that keep doing it for the lower to mid-range artists. So we'll keep doing that, and that's where we are.
Okay.
And I know we've got a lot of projects in the pipeline, some of which hopefully we'll be seeing coming up in the near future. But in the immediate future, Dave, what's coming up? So what's on the website at the moment?
Well, what we've just done or what's coming up?
What's coming up? Who will be shooting this week? Have you got any big shows going?
Yeah, we do. We've got Don Broco, who are in Adelaide. We're shooting Don Broco.
They're great.
They are. They're a great band.
Yeah,
Parfait Swiss.
Years ago, I shot them. They're awesome. Yeah.
Parfait Swiss. We're shooting up north, up in New South Wales. The Beards. Sorry, the Beasts, not the Beards.
The Beards have been on already.
No, the Beasts in at the Forum. They're coming up this week. Drop City, Friends Are Wrong, Mad Friends Are Wrong. We'll be shooting them. My Dying Bride's coming up. Hoodoo Gurus, the Dead Kennedys, the Bamboos.
Wonderful. And all these galleries up on the website within the next week or two?
Yeah.
Excellent. Yep. So if you want to go and see this amazing photography, you know exactly where to go. That's amplify.com.au, and that's Amplify with an N.
That's Amplify with an N. And because we were the AMN, the Australian Musician Network, and we morphed to say we wanted to amplify people's outcomes. So we put the two words together.
Fantastic. Thanks, Dave. That was absolutely brilliant. So we're going to jump straight in with Jill. Jill's news desk. Our little news hound, Jill, there in Sydney, is going to tell us everything that's happening in the world at the moment.
Okay, well, we've got a few little bits and bobs to talk about. So obviously we're about to start to go into festival seasons here in Australia. So we've got multiple festivals all starting to announce their lineups, including Blues Fest, which will start to do their artist drops in the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
We've also got a little bit outside of the photography area, but there's a couple of new books that are out by a couple of authors. So Stuart Coupe, who's a renowned music journalist, used to write for RAM magazine, etc., has just put out a book, one of his many books, on Abe Saffron, who was possibly referred to as a colourful identity here in Sydney, who owned and was involved in quite a number of the really well-known music venues back in the day.
Yeah, colourful, places and people.
And Buzz Bistrop from the Angels, the drummer from the Angels, has got a new book out. I'm going to his speaking tour next week. And just in a bit more news, Abbey Road Music Photography have announced their 2025 winner. And I'm not going to be able to pronounce his name properly, am I, Pete? It's you can pronounce it for me. Yeah, it's Anton. Is it Anton Corbin? Is that how you pronounce it? So,
Anton Corbin.
Yeah, Anton Corbin's been announced as the Abbey Road music photographer for 2025.
Is this a competition, was it, Jill?
Yeah, so they've done it for the last couple of years, apparently.
In the world, for anyone?
Yeah, so I will send you all the link through to how it all works. But they also talked about a few of the other issues that are facing us people in the industry, which also leads me into the additional news that the iPhone 17 is about to drop next week. And you might be going, why am I talking about that when we're talking about music news and photography? Because there's a well-known Australian music photographer who I remember telling me submitted his hard-fought photo with lots of professional equipment, and it got knocked back because they took a photo for a publication that was shot on an iPhone. So So that's kind of all in news just at the moment.
That can't be. You can't tell me that using all the photography software and full frame camera and all that, you're going to get a better picture with an iPhone.
You're not.
You might get someone making a choice, because we get lots of people saying these photos are fantastic, and they've got, hands cropped, and you've got microphones in faces and all that sort of stuff. So it might be.
I think it's just an indication of sort of obviously not us, but some of the other industry and some of the other kind of areas of and particularly now street press and hard copy press like Ram and Duke and all those guys and Drum Media and all those guys have gone. It's the photograph that you just want to put up on the socials. They went with that. So
we'll work to change that back over the next few years.
Yeah.
Because, people should respect that, surgeons are a lot better than, backyard people with, sharp knives. And, you guys are surgeons and you need to be respected for that. But, every now and then something gets through. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, I think thanks a lot for that, Jill. That was absolutely fantastic. And I think Lisa has a lot to say on that subject as well. So, Lisa, give us both barrels.
Oh, well, I've been having a bit of a think about, what's going on in music at the moment. And I've just touched on a few issues that say, well, it's pretty tough in the world right now with music and venues shutting down, little pubs and clubs and bands starting out with photographers like me cut our teeth. When they disappear, we lose not just the stage, but the whole breeding ground for culture. And then there's the way photographers are treated. Too often we're told to do it for exposure. Exposure's great, but it doesn't always pay bills, and there's lots of gear involved. Now, even fuel to get to the gig. But we're part of the live music story, and you don't want your music being undervalued. The 3-song rule, it can be another killer. You're in the pit, you got 3 songs, and then you're done. But if you're real about it and you think about what's actually happening on stage, the most powerful moments happen later on the set when everyone's dripping with sweat and the crowd's ecstatic. That's when the music really makes the magic happen, and we're locked out.
Yeah.
So, and then there's, you're talking about photo releases, contracts. Some of them demand just sign away your art, image that you created. You're capturing the soul of a performance, and then you're being told you can't even use your own work. It is a bit soul destroying sometimes. And the truth is these challenges, closed venues, undervaluation, restrictions, contracts, they're all threatening the way we tell a story with our photography. As creatives, we need to push back sometimes. We keep shooting, we're supporting the scene, we keep fighting for respect, but because music deserves to be seen as much as it needs to be heard.
Well,
so that's just my little bit for the week.
Business is the reason, though, isn't it? The artists aren't making these choices. It's the businesses that are trying to control.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. And so what we've got to try and influence people, because the people have the power, but it's just they can't, because they're all individuals, they don't exercise it. But if we come together in some way over time, again, you can influence the way people do things and you can change things. And, I agree with you, mate. The best part of shows is generally well into them or, nearing the end of them. And, you're shooting the first 2 or 3 songs. It doesn't make sense.
It is. It's always better at the end.
Sometimes you might only get half a song.
Yeah. And then you get herded around or you get pushed or you get told you got to take it from the desk and you're, 50 metres, 100 metres away.
Yeah. Well, you got to leave.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
And you've just driven for an hour through traffic to get there. Then you get home again. So.
Yeah.
It's a crazy saying. I'm sure we'll talk more about that over the weeks as we move forward. Because
absolutely we will. I mean, there's a lot of food for thought there. And I think there's things like the history of the 3-song rule, the legality of contracts and releases. This is stuff that we'll take deep dives into in future weeks. Thanks a lot for that, Lisa. That was absolutely brilliant.
Okay. I was just going to just make the point just quickly that in most photography environments, everything's controlled, and in your environment, everything's not controlled. And, that's the big difference. You're taking amazing photos without control. You can't control the lights. You can't generally control what the artist does. You've got to wait and take the image. If they're jumping, you've got to get it at the right time, etc. Whereas if you're doing other, commercial photography, you're saying, I'll put the light up. Can you just move back? Let's do that again. Move forward, move this side, etc. And so, people compare photographers, one with the other, and they're two different things. You guys are in the field like bloody elite, people at war, and you just get seen. That's what comparing you to an iPhone is just ridiculous. Just beggars belief.
And occasionally you get a nice venue where you arrive early and you get to talk to them and you go, how are you going to light the stage? And they go, how would you like me to light the stage for you?
Yeah, amazing.
It's always good when that happens, yeah.
I see professional bands, great bands, long-term bands, playing to the camera. So they understand the photo and the photographer and the value of that photography, and they'll look straight down your barrel. Cooper would do that, Steel Panther, all these sort of guys that they've been around a long time, and they see you taking a photo and they play to you and the photo comes out, it's magnificent. So, photography's not dead, that's for sure.
It's definitely not dead.
Yeah, no. We will definitely deep dive on this stuff in future weeks. So thanks, Dave. Thanks, Lisa. Cam, now you had a little bit of a catch up with Lisa quite recently, didn't you?
Yes, we did. We did catch up and talk about all the goings on of photography and inspiration and cameras and so forth. So obviously there's a bit of information to go through. So I believe we're going to have the whole clip for one of our episodes, but I believe you've got some highlights coming up.
We have. I'm just going to bring that up. The full video is going to be up on our channel pretty much straight away.
Can you give away $1,000 in the middle of the video, don't you?
Say that again?
You give away $1,000 in the middle of the video, don't you? Oh, sorry. I'm just trying.
Well, somewhere between the middle and the end of it.
I'm just trying to get you a few views.
I'm starting at a nice spot there for you, Cam. You're looking good.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So this only runs for a couple of minutes, but the full half-hour interview will be up on our YouTube channel. And here's some of Lisa's wisdom.
What excites you most about that live music? Or what you said you ignited your passion back in 2013, or became professional, so to speak. What keeps you going? I mean, what's that, 12 years now, sort of thing, of being that it can get quite taxing and consuming, especially in those busy festival times and busy, coming up to the summer when all the international bands come through and that type of thing. What keeps you driving? What makes you really excited about going shooting live photography, live music photography, I should say?
I think I've also got a really big passion for music. I love to listen to the music as I'm photographing it. I love seeing bands. I think I'm already up to 184 bands for the year, this year.
Okay. Yeah.
So if I'm not photographing it, I'm there watching music. I love to watch it through the lens. I'm absorbing everything as I'm photographing it. And again, I love that moment that you can capture that it's not going to happen again.
Yeah, exactly.
So on Saturday night, I photographed some local bands. So Total Buzzkill, because I was at a metal gig. So there was 4 bands. That unpredictability, like a metal gig, anything be thrown at you. Like they had literally zero lighting because, unfortunately, we're losing another venue, and they're actually ripping the stage out, and there was no lights. And the lighting guy put a couple of red LEDs up that afternoon. So it was
our favourite red lighting.
yeah. So and that was kind of it. And there was some like backlighting right at the back, which kind of, if everyone was standing right at the back of the stage, you've got something.
But you're really having to work hard for it, and trying to you can see something happening that you really want to capture, changing settings in the moment. So you're always thinking about where you're placing, where people are on the stage, where's the best bit of lighting, how to get the most out of your camera, and bleed that last little bit of light and push your ISO about as far as you can possibly go.
Okay, and now the full interview is going to be on our YouTube channel, and you can hear all of Lisa's wisdom and her years of experience behind the camera shooting live music.
Now, what's ISO? Because someone might have mistaken that word for some other word. ISO. What is ISO?
ISO is how you set the camera sensitivity.
And the sensitivity does what?
How much light comes into
more
it?
Sensitive, the more it receives light. It goes back to the old days of film where you had fast films and short film, fast films and slow films. With a slow film, you needed a lot more light. For a fast film, you could take photographs in dimmer light. So it's a similar sort of thing to the camera. So if you set your ISO very high, you can take the photograph in much dimmer light.
Do you set it for the night, or do you set it each shot? What are you setting that with? When are you setting it?
That's when
constantly
it comes
changing it.
Yeah, constantly changing. Depends what's happening. You're changing it sometimes. So.
And how many?
Some people use an automatic ISO, so the camera adjusts the ISO, but most don't just set it at one ISO and then adjust it as you go. So,
And I'll finish now, but I'm interested because you said ISO there. How many settings are you changing in the run?
Pretty much everything.
There's probably three main settings. There's the triangle that you're looking at. So everybody shoots differently. Like some will say ISO or ISO, depending on where you come from. Many will change it as they go. I tend to set it at the one thing, and I use my shutter speed a bit more to adjust my light. So
particularly when you got
different
through
ways
some
that you can do it. Yeah.
You're constantly changing things, Dave. It's not always just hold it up,
So your options are changing your ISO or your ISO, your shutter speed, and your aperture. They're the three.
And when you see someone with 2 or 3 cameras around and we pull up one camera and the different camera,
different lenses.
Someone's got a telephoto or something rather than someone's got a standard lens or something like that, or a wide lens. Okay.
Yeah.
So your lenses also have settings on them that allow varying, depending on what sort of lens they are, let more light in, which then changes what your settings are. So
I think it'll be great to have a session where we got into everyone's kit bag because there's so much. Yeah, there's so much to appreciate, and
that we'll do in future weeks. So we're going to take a deep dives into everyone's kit bag. We're going to talk about favorite lenses, technique, what we take to a show, whether or not you're shooting 1, 2 cameras, what bodies you use, whether or not you're some sort of Philistine and use a Canon, or you're one of the true believers and use Nikon. So there's a lot for us to discuss in that respect.
Oh, you people who have unconscious bias about old cameras.
You could be a Philistine in Barrackford Geelong, or you could be a progressive.
They all get the same result,
I reckon they all come off the same production line.
Yeah.
Oh, there's something for the to have an argument about. I was lucky the other week to shoot a new Perth supergroup called Parabellum. They're formed from a number of different bands that have been around for a few years. And Krissy Sanfead, the guitarist, was very kind enough to catch up with me and actually sit down and run through a few of the photographs that I took. Again, that interview will be up on our channel. But I've got a couple of little clips here just to sort of give you
Parabellum 1L. Not spelt the way Parabellum's spelt. It's only 1L, isn't it, Pete?
Parabellum with 1L. It was more of an aesthetic choice. So let me just get this teed up. And
she was talking about Pete took some great photos, and I thought when she said she looked like Randy Rhoads, I thought the same thing. She had some, he had some great shots there.
There we are.
Oh, that's weird. I don't have any shot that's even close to that as well. That is so unique.
Yeah.
I could see a bit of Randy Rhoads in there if I just had the white guitar.
Well, that's the yeah, that's the effect of the wide angle lens, because it seems to give this a bit of a false perspective. So,
oh, that's wicked.
Yeah, you seem to have your tongue out quite a bit, so I couldn't resist putting at least one.
I'm not sure what that's about. Must be the intense concentration.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that.
I'm not even doing a pinch harmonic.
Yeah. And there we are. There's that one you wanted the smile on your face.
My mum's going to love that one.
Yeah. So let's get back. Oh, yeah. And obviously the hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. And where else are we? Now, I like this one because I got the two of you together there. Yeah.
I love that. My face is kind of like that.
You're giving it some. Yeah.
Yes. Great. That's also amazing. You're so good. You're so talented.
From my perspective, I was actually changing lenses around during the gig, and I think this is taken with a sort of a 50mm prime. So the depth of field and there's less distortion in this, so it's more of a natural image. So
did you find? Oh, great. He's in the zone there.
Absolutely is. I mean, sorry, you were about to say?
I was going to say, did you find the lighting challenging?
It can be very challenging in a lot of gigs, especially these small clubs. If you're shooting at a large at the arena or a stadium or something, you usually can't go wrong with the lighting. Yeah, because it's bright. Yeah, you got a big stage where small clubs tend to create a lot of contrast, so you end up having to shoot with a high ISO, a high sensitivity on the camera, but then that tends to blow out the highlights, and you still end up with a lot of noise in the shadows. So it takes quite a bit of editing afterwards to sort of try and rebalance stuff. So half the challenge with music photography, especially in small clubs, is getting that balance between it.
Yeah, because to me, I'm like looking at the other bands as well on that night. Like, you've made the lighting look a lot better than it actually did in person. I don't know how to say that any nicer, but the way you've captured it, it's really taken it to a whole different level. Like, I'm blown away.
There was a lot of smoke on stage, and a lot of the images came out quite hazy, so that was a little bit of a challenge.
Oh, yes, that was really affecting Mick's voice at the end as well.
Yeah.
He could barely talk after the gig.
So the rest of that interview is up on will be up on the YouTube site. And what was awesome about Krissy was that we had a bit of a chat afterwards, and she gave us a little bit of a wisdom about how to start a band and how to get going. If you were giving some advice to somebody just starting out in the music business, what would you say to them?
I would say work with the right people and find the right people. So something that I've developed over the years is I would prefer someone not to be, say, as skilled as their instrument, but you can tell if they're going to have the attitude where they're going to work hard and going to contribute and going to gel well with the band, I would pick that person, because I feel like you can support them and they're going to grow skill, and you can kind of be fluid and work with the level that they're at. Whereas I feel like if you're making those sort of compensations as a band to someone that's not going to gel or kind of aren't going to put in the effort, I feel that's the weak link that will always hold you back. And I think that's one. I don't know, I can rattle this off for probably an hour. I think another really big one is have vision. So I feel like that's what a lot of local bands struggle with a little bit, which is don't mean that in a negative sense, but I feel that because there's no clear path for music, that's why I feel like it needs a lot of consideration. So with me studying, for example, I know at the end I'll get a degree, and with that degree I can get a job. Music, that doesn't have that pathway, and it's very, very hard to find your pathway to be how can we make this a sustainable thing. Music's all or nothing. You're going to be eating off scraps, or you can be touring the world constantly and buying Ferraris. There's not really any in between. So I feel like you need to have vision and you need to have goals. Otherwise, it's like you're kind of just swimming in the ocean, not knowing where you're going to head. And I experienced this a lot through my 20s, where I was just like, I'm going to be in 5 bands at a time. I was either rehearsing or gigging up to 8 times a week, going between Mandurah and Joondalup. doing like 1,000 Ks, and there was so much effort going in, and it wasn't really pushing me forward in ways that counted, I guess. Like, I learnt a lot. There's a lot of that behind the scenes stuff that happens, but I feel like it wasn't taking me where I wanted to be at the time. And I was just saying yes to any distraction that came my way. So it's like, do you want to be in this band? And just saying yes to a lot of projects that probably weren't in my interests long term. So I feel like that's really important advice, is to kind of sense where you're going. And, you know, sometimes people kind of look at it as in like, not wanting to be a rock star can be a bit of an egotistical thing, where I feel like it's not. I feel like you need to have dreams and you need to have vision about where you want to be. And the only difference is whether you're humble about it as well. So just don't have an ego, basically. Shoot high, don't have an ego, and don't be afraid to fail. Like, failure is how you learn. Like, there's that old saying with like bodybuilders and that, the muscle growth comes from the point where you're actually reaching failure. So don't be afraid of it. It's just embrace it. Like, I've failed so many times, and it doesn't matter. And you'll just come out stronger with more knowledge. Like, I can't tell you the road to success. I can tell you lots of ways that don't lead to it. But I feel like it just brings you round as a person, and just go for it. You've got absolutely nothing to lose by trying as hard as you can.
Excellent. So the rest of that interview will be up on the website. Krissy was absolutely awesome. We had a good chat for over half an hour, going through some photographs. I felt a little bit embarrassed. She was a little bit flattering about some of what I was doing, but my photography is nowhere near as good as some of you guys, and so she thought that was the best she'd ever seen. I'm not quite sure what she's seen before. Anyway,
very modest, Pete. Very modest.
Self-deprecation, isn't it fantastic?
Exactly.
What we're going to do now is, actually, talking of a brilliant photographer, I'm going to move and hand over to Glenn. Glenn, you can take us through a few of the shots of the week from the website and give us a couple of your editing tips.
All right, I've got 5 shots here from various recent galleries we posted. I'm just going to share a screen. I'll find it. This one. Can everyone see that?
Woof.
Nice.
So this image caught my attention straight away because of the 3 levels of focus in it and the impact that main singer has.
Yes.
Look, we all don't like red, but I think this works. It works really well. It looks like it's done it looks like it's got, I don't know, it's weird to me. I can't understand. The focus point is on the front, obviously, but it just really looks nice with that hair, the front singer.
The symmetry is fantastic.
Yeah, it's awesome. First of all, I thought of cutting off a little bit on the left, but there's a face in the shadows there, which works.
No. Yeah.
So I just think it's a great shot. We don't like red much, but I think it works fantastic.
This is one of Rob's, isn't it? Yeah. Rob Mez is one of our Amplify photographers, and the guys.
Yeah, I just think it's a lovely shot, and I think that's Genevieve Ryder. I think that's Temptress, the band Temptress. I think it is. Looks like it to me. But I just love that one. Yeah, that was a standout for me. This one, where is it here? Oh, I'm clicking on the wrong picture. This one's by Elise. Now, I love this shot too, with the singer in the middle. It's a little bit bright. And I would probably look at cropping it. If it was me, I would take away.
Let me just say that if you know Glenn, he's going to crop every photo he ever looks at.
No, I'll just give you an example. I would probably take away the guitarist out of the right, and I think it's a stronger pic. If the highlights weren't too burnt out,
I agree.
It's obviously a JPEG, so I can't bring it back too much. But I just think it's a stronger image without that guitarist. Do you guys agree or not?
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
Great image. I agree with you, Glenn. Sometimes you just got to lose that bit on the side and concentrate on.
I don't think he enhances the image at all, and half of his guitar's cut off. So, like I always say, tell photographers about compositions are a major thing that will make an image stand out.
At the moment, it's a great environment shot, but when you crop it, it showed it really does bring out the that central subject.
It does. It's a shame that the highlights are quite bright, but it still seems to work. The legs look good, the angle, the triangle shape, the mic stand coming down. I think that all works. And the guy in the background even, so, and the shadows in the ceiling. So I like that shot a lot.
Yep.
This is another one. I love this shot. I saw this today. I love the light. Maybe it would be a little bit toned. It's also red, but I think it works. The drum on the right-hand side, the guitarist in the background with a halo around his face, and that light on the hand above the dancer, and the tree on the vine on the side. I think it just all works. The stage.
I picked that as the featured photo.
Pardon?
I picked that as the featured photo.
Yeah, it's lovely. There's look, maybe the highlight could have come back a tiny bit, but I feel that the face has got enough light to work with it. It would have been good with the hand behind the light, which would have looked awesome with his hand behind it. I love capturing that part of an image where you can, and I move around a lot to capture a light behind something, a guitar neck or the end of a guitar. I think that background light looks like the guy's head in the background, as you can see. So I love that one too. And it's another red shot again, which like we all don't like, but it seems to work for me. So, all right.
The Cat Empire.
Yeah, this is, what do I do? I could click on the wrong picture. Okay, I don't know who this guy is that took this shot. I wasn't sure who it was. I didn't see a name. But I love this shot too. The angle, the guitar, the faces, the guy in the background. I would probably crop it once again, maybe, a little bit on the right to take it away, if possible, just to bring that in so it's a more closer image. Does everyone agree with me on that? What do you guys think?
Hang on, I've lost you there.
Yes or no? You lost me?
Yeah, I've lost the screen.
Have you? No, it's still there.
Hang on, where am I, Pete?
It also looks like it's been given some sort of sepia tone. I don't know what that was about, why they had to. Maybe it was red. Not sure. Or something, but I like that shot too.
What was the can you show the original again, Glenn?
Yeah, I'll go back.
Uncropped.
How do I pull it back up, Pete?
Oh no, the original. Wait a minute. Oh, there you go. Yeah, there. Nope, wrong one.
Here we go. Go back.
There you go. That's the original.
Yeah, I'm in the two minds. I like how you cropped in a little bit closer, but then I thought with your crop, I went, I feel like we're losing too much of the leg. But then you go back to the original, and you're still missing a foot.
Yeah, so you're still missing a foot. So bring that up to have the shoe in at the bottom. And you're still missing a foot. But it's just that sometimes a subtle amount that makes a difference. I think so. That's what I do.
That's the trick with cropping, isn't it? It's like, where do we crop and where do I cut from chopping off an arm or chopping off a leg?
Try and shoot a little bit wider.
Yeah, it's a general rule with any form of portrait photography, and music photography is generally portrait photography. You don't crop through joints like wrists and knees and hips, and you don't crop through hands. So you're either having the whole hand or no hand. The same applies to feet.
Like I've seen a lot of photographers who would just crop off that bottom of the guitar. I've seen shots where it would be cut off like this. And I think to myself, you only had to move back a fraction and it would have been in. I always try and shoot wide to fit everything and then crop later.
I mean, the rules of portraiture, I think for a musician applies to the instrument as well. So you treat that guitar like a limb. You've either got the whole thing or you have to be very careful where you crop it and how you crop it.
Yeah.
I agree.
So the last shot I've got, I don't usually do this, but I've put a shot up of mine because I kind of like it and I want to know if you guys say that what you think could be changed from it.
Oh, look, it's the worst shot I've ever seen.
Bloody awful.
Okay, well, let's it. Not finish it. Don't anyone out.
I think it should be cropped.
Cropped in a bit more.
You tell me where to crop it and I'll crop it.
Glenn's the best photographer in Sydney.
You tell me where to crop it, I'll crop it.
Told me.
It was a band called P1 Harmony, a group of Korean K-pop singers, and all they did was do that. I had to shoot from the desk, and they just jumped around a lot. And I thought that image with the...
Did they approve more than 3 or 4 shots?
Well, no, they approved a lot. I think I just posted the whole
Okay.
But I kind of liked the cameras in the foreground, which there were millions of teenage girls with cameras and phones, whatever phones. And just the random placing of the guys on the lights. So I just thought it was...
But it works symmetrically as well.
Yeah.
You've got the yellow and white light on either side.
I'm not sure about the guy here, what he's doing, but I think it's a part of a dance move.
See, what's
how do you find it
like this?
Also,
when you got these big ensemble shots, is catching a frame like this where you can actually see all of the faces. I know there's one guy at the back there whose face is half covered with his hand, but so often when you get a shot like this, there's either somebody pulling a face or there's a hand in front of a face, so you don't get the full
I did
person.
yell out to that guy, "Can you move your hand?" But he never listened.
Yeah. So this is great time.
Did you do it in Korean?
Maybe that's why I did listen. Yes.
Yeah. Everyone was quiet. Yeah, it's a quiet shot.
Yeah, that's the selection of shots that I've found this week that I like. So.
I've probably got a couple of things to say with your shot,
Oh,
Glenn.
go ahead, Ken.
One question. I mean, I like to shoot, and I actually probably put a lot of saturation and vividness into the color. Is that? Would you find you can get more color out of those lights in the background, or is that not the way you sort of, when you edited this one?
As you say that, I was only talking to Pete recently, and I can show you something quickly here, what I do to lights to make them brighter. So I go into the masking tool here, and I pick a small brush, which will highlight that area. Then I'll turn off the red, and then I go down here, and I enlarge it. Hit Shift, click on it, and then you can highlight that light. And then you can change it to whatever color you want. You can make it whatever color you like. Right? So and then you go back in here and just fix up the face a little bit and redo it. So you can do that with all these lights and have a whole lot of separate masks for every light and adjust every light to every different color. I've done that many times with a band. Because, sometimes you see the lights in the background, it's just not bright enough. Well, I've done that, and it seems to work.
Yeah, it's a trick. Like, I mean, as I said, I like a lot of color in my shots quite often. Sometimes I feel like I'm going too far, but that's just probably my style of what it is. So it's always interesting how do we drag out the color from those lights, but keep the performers in their right light. So that's a good tip for everybody.
You can go in. I could go in and just select blue, which would also bring up those lights.
Bring them up.
Yep. And even adjust the blue in your illuminators, and even do it. You can adjust it that way. So
is that a usual sort of practice for you?
Yeah, I do that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I always believe that the end result is what people see. No one knows that it wasn't like that. They weren't there. I was there. No one can remember that moment when the light changed. So I do that regularly and make lights brighter and darker. And if it makes the photo look better, I think it works. So.
Matty, did you read through a lot of?
You read through a lot of forums where you get these big arguments between the purists and the those that aren't so pure, shall we say? And there's some that say that it should be pure journalism, and you produce or you post what comes out of the camera with no editing whatsoever because there's authenticity to it. And then there's making the shot look good, because every digital shot.
I always go with that. I always go with that. I always go with that way, Pete.
What's the purpose? What's the purpose?
To make the image look better.
The purpose is you're serving the audience.
Yeah,
what's the audience going to be attracted by more?
That's why I do it. Yeah, that's right. You're making the
that's subjectional or objectional was probably the word. What's the audience going to like more? Depends on who's looking at it. I think if the six of us looked at one photo, we'd go, and you had a couple of different versions, you'd all get different answers.
You would, but I would contend that if you look at, I was going to say, Matt did a gallery this week up in Queensland. Look great. All of his images look great. Remember Kerry Geyer in Adelaide? Every gallery that came out looked great. So obviously she was editing every picture, and every picture looked like a poster. Now, they don't come out naturally like that. You're not taking all those shots. You've got to edit them to bring them up to that sort of place.
I think that's the way I do it, Dave. That's how I do it.
I agree 100%. I agree 100%.
Make them all like I think I mentioned to a promotional photographer today. Make every image like a poster.
Absolutely.
If you can do that, make every image like a poster.
Editing itself is part of the photographic process. And I was at a conference not long ago, and I was listening to a wedding photographer talking, and he wasn't talking about sort of saving or doing heavy editing in shots. He was talking about finishing the photograph.
Exactly. That's exactly what I call it, me too. I mean, you take the photo, but editing finishes the image. That's how I look at it also.
So there's editing, and then, for example, a lot of photographers at times put in the I can't even think what they're called now, like the glare off the lights or the beams off the lights. That you have that one light, and occasionally when you catch the glare and the sunlight coming through, or one beam of light, but then they put it on every light and it shines through like a star and stuff. How do you find
the filter effect, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, like I can't even think what the right word for it is.
You think it's starburst?
I'm not a big fan of that.
No,
but that's me.
Tell me, Cam, if there was a microphone in front of the fantastic shot, you wouldn't edit the mic out, or you wouldn't edit a light out, or something like that. If it was right behind the artist's head and there was just a bright light that took away from the picture, you wouldn't edit that light out.
I probably wouldn't normally take items out. I'm not a big fan of taking items out because I guess that was there. But sometimes depending what you're doing, like if you're trying to make a poster or a cover, yeah, probably you might take the mic out or take out another light. If we're doing it for our galleries, such as the show galleries, I'm more inclined not to.
It's not always easy.
Everybody's a little bit different.
What do you think?
If it covers the face, it's difficult. If it doesn't cover the face, just like a leg or an arm, it's not that hard.
No. It's not hard to do, but it's just if you decide to do it or not.
Yeah.
Well,
I believe if no one knows you did it, do it. And it looks good.
What do you tend to do?
What, Dave?
Well, I was saying Lisa and Jill, what do you tend to do when you're editing? Take them out, edit up, or au naturel?
Mostly natural. I don't tend to move mic stands unless if it's got no one behind it and I'm not having to fiddle around with it going across someone's body. If it's just at the side and it's distracting and I can get it out of the back of the scene, then I might. But I'll crop it out if I need to. But sometimes there's a place sometimes for removing a few things.
Like water bottles.
I think sometimes
water bottles sit on the stage sometimes on the drum riser.
Yeah, water bottles and sometimes branding.
Yes.
If there's like like something on there that's got a brand on it that you just want to take out, it's too distracting.
These days.
I would keep it in, go for the sponsorship deal, right?
That's not a bad idea.
And they're going to see it. Coke's going to see the picture of the Coke bottle in the background, the can.
Okay. This is something which, again, we will take a deep dive into in later episodes because the whole editing tips, tricks, techniques, how we each do things, there's a whole lot to go through there. Just in the interest of time, I thought what we would do each week is just have a little bit of a quiz, shall we say. In our world of fake news and rumor, I thought it'd be a nice little way of maybe talking about a bit of music trivia, a little bit of photography trivia, and to see how good you guys are picking up what's true and what's not. So I'm calling this section Tell Me Lies, and I have 3 statements here. I need you guys to tell me which of these is the lie. So I thought, being our first episode, we would go for a little bit of the most iconic form of music photography there is, and that's the album cover. And some of the most famous photographers from across. Now, so statement 1. Storm Ferguson was recorded by Pink Floyd to design the cover of their second album, A Saucerful of Secrets, and subsequently designed every Floyd album cover until his death in 2013. Okay, number 2, Mick Rock, the man who shot the 70s, shot the cover for Queen 2, taking his inspiration from a 1932 image of Marlene Dietrich taken for the movie Shanghai Express. And number 3, the photo on the cover of the Clash album London Calling of Paul Simonon smashing his bass guitar was not shot in London, but was taken at the Palladium in New York by photographer Penny Smith. Smith did not want to use the photo because it was blurry. Designer Ray Lowry convinced her to allow its use as the image is authentic and spontaneous. So now, Dave, you always dive in, so you go first. Which one is the lie?
I would say the first one. I find it hard to believe that someone continually does all the album covers for like 20, 30 years or something like that. Sure, he's sick for one of them. Didn't his wife, his daughter had got married or something and couldn't get it done? I think number one's a lie.
Number one. So Dave's plumping for number one. Jill, what do you think?
Two.
Number two.
Based on nothing.
Based on nothing. I like your theory, Jill. Well thought.
All right. Give us your wisdom and thoughts.
I feel like it's number one just because I hadn't heard that before. I feel like Queen, I know it's inspired by something, and that sounds familiar, if we want to go into that one. 3 sounds quite realistic, so I'm going with 1 to be the incorrect or the false, the lie.
Okay. And Glenn,
unfortunately, I have to agree with Dave there.
Glenn, give us your sleuthing abilities. Which one is the porcupine?
I also believe it's number 1 because I know number 2 is true, and I think the third one is true also. So I think it's number 1, definitely.
And Lisa?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with everyone else. The Clash one, I definitely know is true. I have read something about the cover of the Queen album, and I'm pretty sure that was right. But yeah, I reckon number 1 is the lie. It's untrue.
Okay. All right. I'll give you the big reveal. Number 3 is true. Okay. Number 2 is true, leaving number 1 as Storm Ferguson did actually do almost every Floyd cover. The only ones he didn't do were The Wall and the one that came after that. What was the one with the ribbons on the cover?
You added up the lights.
Oh, the river.
Can you pull up the lights over the head so that they're just shining down here? Everyone else copied the boss, obviously, because they know the boss is the smartest guy in it.
Of course, that's why we copied you.
Well, I should get more points for picking it up.
I was upset that you picked one. Anyway.
What made a hole in my head and escaped was the name of that last Waters Floyd album, The Final Cut. And apparently, as had happened with just about everyone around that time in Pink Floyd, Waters fell out with Storm Ferguson, so he didn't do those 2 album covers. Terrell Scarf did the Wall.
I would say it's almost impossible over the course of a long period of time with musos not to fall out for one reason or another.
He did pretty much every other album cover except the first one and those other 2. So, and as far as Freddie Mercury is concerned, or Queen 2, if I can get rid of that.
I know that was true because you mentioned that recently.
Yeah. Well, I think we were chatting about it at some point.
Yeah. So. Talking about Roger Waters, have you seen recently with Jack Osborne discussing him, how his father hated him?
Really?
He had some nasty words to say about him. Jack Osborne about his
be careful, Glenn. We don't want to end up in a lawsuit.
I'm just reading what I read online. It's all on there to read.
I've you out for that. There you go. I had actually found the photo with Marlene Dietrich. There we are. And there's Mix Rock's inspiration for the Queen 2 cover.
Yep.
So I thought it was an awesome story.
I have a portrait
that's a great
I
story.
took like that. I have a portrait I took like that a long time ago, about 15 years ago. I'll have to show you next time. It's in quite a big frame. I'll show you.
As I tell you, there's so many. We could have a whole thing here on moving moments for past. You put up that shot of Queen, and I could go into 20 different stories about shows, about this and about what I was doing when and all that sort of stuff. There's so much, especially
anyway, guys.
Think back to Down in our era and how it sort of was so instrumental, and especially at the start. Sorry.
So anyway, thank you everybody for this week. That was absolutely brilliant. For those of you watching, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and hopefully we'll have episodes up every couple of weeks, talking about more of the same, giving you the news and views of what's happening in the photography and music industries, a few more tips and trips from Glenn, a couple more interviews from Cam, and we have some exciting stuff coming up about subscriptions, something called The Family. Don't forget to check out amplify.com.au, and I'll put links to all of these in the comments below. Look forward to catching up with all you guys again very, very soon, and thank you.
Good night.
Thanks.
Good
night. Thanks, everyone.
Been fun.
See you next week.
Bye, bye,
Okay,
bye, bye.
thank you. Take care, guys. Speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.